again, greetings from gorgeous Dubai, where Minister Silvio Schembri has joined us for the AIBC and the AGS summits. Thank you for being here.
It's a pleasure, Ramona, to be here.
So, how important is it to have these kind of events in order to promote emerging tech?
Well, first of all, I think I would say it's good to be back because after, I would say, a period of more than a year and 3, 4 months of these type of mass events, I think actually this is my first mass event that I'm attending since when COVID obviously surfaced across the world. But I think it's very important because when you meet people, you share ideas. I mean, okay, technology is at the center of everything. We use technology in Zoom meetings and other virtual meetings. But the actual contact, the physical contact is very important to have to get to know each other better and share ideas. So yes, especially in networking events like this, these are very important to get business growing and at least share your ideas.
I know that you also feel very strongly about the importance of tech. So now that it's all systems go, as it were, what is Malta's strategy for the upcoming months in terms of AI and blockchain?
Well, as Malta goes, we've been speaking about emerging technologies for the past years now. In my previous role as Junior Minister for Digital Economy and Innovation, I spearheaded different initiatives, being on blockchain, on artificial intelligence, on video game, esports, and now we're starting to see fruit of what we have sowed about 3 or 4 years ago. So, and with COVID, COVID on its own has accelerated much more the importance of these strategies. So the fact that Malta will have invested heavily in the infrastructure, being communication, being other infrastructure that we needed to have these tech companies be much more easily operational in Malta, it brought us to a point where we could actually implement what we have spoke about 4 years ago at a much more faster pace. There were other things that had to be put on pause because of COVID, but when it comes to digital, and now in the next weeks I will be able to announce our 10-year economic vision for Malta. I can safely say that the digital aspect is going to be the core and central value of our vision for the next 10 years.
So can you give us some more details about this vision, how on a practical level, these will be translated to reality?
Well, I would say just look what we have done the past years in terms of other areas, being video game development, being gaming, being financial services, being blockchain, and that will reflect the future. We are very convinced of of what we want to achieve and where we want to place Malta in the next 10 years. You still have to wait a couple of days, couple of weeks to announce all details on our vision. But what I can say is that what we have achieved so far in the past 7 years in terms of economic growth, you know, Ramona, in the past 8 years we have doubled our economic activity in Malta. So we have literally doubled what we used to produce. Now we are at a stage where we have to reformulate certain things to be able to keep on with this pace in terms of economic growth and to sustain it. So although our economy is very robust, is very resilient, as in fact has shown during the pandemic that our economy does not depend on one particular sector, but actually it has multiple sectors which are very strong, we now have to continue to build upon those. And the digital aspect is going to be core in the implementation of our new measures.
Sounds very exciting. Do you believe that our businesses and organizations might be a bit wary of emerging tech, that it will be a disruptive influence, or do you think that maybe the market is being more open towards these ideas now?
Look, when we come to, I would say, culture, the most difficult part is to have this culture change. So to explain that person that has been operating in this business for 40 years, doing the same things, and now you have to tell him, look, scrap the way you used to work and you have to work differently. And the answer would be, look, I've been successful these past 40 years, why should I change now? But actually, the answer to that question gave it COVID. If we look at statistics in Malta, it was a bit difficult to convince SMEs, especially the small businesses, to get into more tech advancements and investment into the way they used to do business. Nowadays, for example, if we look at retail, before the percentage of retail that used to sell online was in the region of 10 to 15%. With COVID, that rose in a period of 1 year to 60%. And even the shopping patterns of the Maltese community, and obviously this is reflected in other countries for sure, has grown exponentially to go everything online. And COVID now has changed the way on how we work, how we entertain ourselves, how we socialize, how we do everything, how we live. So now we have to adapt to these new realities, and businesses have, or I would say COVID has accelerated the way business had to adapt to more technology.
Well, we have shown that we can adapt. Thank you for sharing all that with us, and thank you for following us at the AIBC and AGS summits.